So the current champions on the WWE main roster are looking absolutely fantastic, but we can always shake things up. So here's who I believe will dethrone each and every single main roster champion. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick things off with the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Now for reasons I'm just going to keep to myself, I believe that Bianca Belair is actually going to keep her tag team belts. It might seem odd because, well, there's only one person, you gotta kind of have two to have a tag team, but I think they may do something here to really create this feud between Bianca and Jade. Because many could say that Bianca has been carrying this tag team and you wouldn't be the most wrong, but what if we really make her carry it in a match against Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson? I said in a video the other day that I believe Naomi was the one that took out Jade, and I also believe that Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson are gonna join up with Naomi and become basically a faction. And they're gonna call out Bianca Belair for those tag belts, saying that you've been ducking and dodging all the tag division, we want that match. And Bianca Belair is gonna have to have this match because if she doesn't, she's gonna forfeit that belt, so she's gonna come out there and she is going to get overpowered by Lash and Jakara. This will allow us to really get that whole Jade-Bianca feud really revved up, where I do believe that Bianca is going to be the heel in that feud because she is much better on the mic, and usually the one that's better on the mic, you would want them to be the heel. From here, let's work our way to the IC title, and it's gonna make sense as to why I'm skipping a division. So the current IC champion is Braun Breaker, and while a part of me wanted and really did believe that Sheamus was gonna dethrone him after that triple threat match where Braun won, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be off the table for a while. But don't worry, Sheamus fans, because I do believe at some point next year he is going to become a Grand Slam champion. I think the guy that's gonna dethrone Braun Breaker though is Karrion Kross. It's taken a while, but Karrion Kross is actually getting over with a lot of people now. This is coming from somebody that did not like Karrion Kross for a very long time. And I believe if we're gonna start pushing Final Testament as a serious faction, then we need to put some serious gold on these guys, and I think we need to start with the IC belt on Karrion Kross. And we've seen him in NXT now. While I said that he did not look good on the main roster, I will not lie, his NXT work was absolutely phenomenal. And I believe Karrion Kross with that IC title is gonna absolutely feed families. Now let's pivot back over to our Raw Tag Team Champions of Finn and JD McDonough, and I also have them losing not to the War Raiders but to AOP. Yes, we are going to push this group as a serious mid-card faction. In my opinion, Akam and Razor are one of the top tag teams on the WWE roster, and they're just not getting that push for some reason. Push these guys and they're going to look like absolute monsters. We've seen it in the past just how good these two are. And with Karrion Kross focus on the IC title and a lot of that stuff, we're still going to have him be a part of this faction, obviously, but we can have, Paul Ellering earn his money. This man ain't spoke much since he's got back to WWE. Allow him to speak for Akam and Razor whenever they have feuds against other tag teams. Now we're also going to make another pivot over to the US title picture, which is held by Shinsuke Nakamura. Again, it's going to make sense, okay? You're probably going to be a little spoiled, but it's going to make sense. Now, I think the perfect person to dethrone Shinsuke Nakamura is Chad Gable. And I don't think this needs to happen anytime soon. Give Shinsuke Nakamura a respectable run with this belt of at least 3 to 4 months. But the US title was literally made for a dude running American Made. Although I'm a bit worried that Chad Gable may become unhinged in his feud with Shinsuke Nakamura. I hope he doesn't say anything, too crazy, but if he does, it could start his whole US title dictatorship run. And I also said that a way that we can revive the US title is by having Chad Gable go on an absolute heater with this belt and just dominating the entire mid-card division, and then bringing Cody Rhodes in to almost be like that American hero, even though he is called the American Nightmare, but he could be American Made's worst nightmare. I think that storyline writes itself, and it would cook, and it would bring the US title back into its former glory, which probably hasn't been great since Austin Theory's selfie gimmick, but even then, I think that was a good run. The last truly great run was John Cena with the belt. Hey, what do you know? Cody Rhodes is basically this era's John Cena, and now he's going to do what John Cena did for the same belt that John Cena boosted to the dang moon at one point. But I think it's probably better we get off the moon and come back to Earth, though, so we can talk about the SmackDown Tag Team Champions of DIY. Gosh, I am so happy that this happened, man. I was ecstatic to see Johnny Gargano turn heel because I know what that means. Because Johnny ain't gonna be heel forever. Johnny Wrestling, you can't fool me, bucko, okay? I know you. I seen NXT. I know we are getting Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa Part 3 on the main roster. But Ash, why would they break up? They're literally working together again. They look so fantastic. Oh yeah, they look fantastic now until they lose those belts. Lose those belts to one Brutus and Julius Creed. Because we're also gonna push American Made as a serious faction. Let's be real, we have no other real faction in WWE right now. Judgment Day looks like a shell of themselves, and Bloodline has too much going on to really be considered much of a faction right now. So why don't we start pushing some new factions in, okay? We got American Made, we got Final Testament. I say push both of them to the absolute moon, just not to like the main event scene or anything like that. Mid-card scene. Hey, would you look at that? Speaking of mid-card titles, the Women's United States Championship title. Now, I know nobody currently holds this belt, but there is a tournament going on, and I do have a prediction for it, so I'm going to give y'all my prediction. So the current bracket looks like Bayley, Chelsea Green, Meechin, and Tiffany Stratton are all in the semifinals, where I believe that Bayley will end up defeating Chelsea Green, and I believe that Tiffany Stratton will end up defeating Meechin. And then we're going to get Bayley versus Tiffany Stratton for the Women's United States Championship at Saturday Night Main Event, where I do believe Bayley will be the inaugural Women's United States Champion. Don't worry, Chelsea Green fans, because Tiffany Stratton's going to try to cash in on Bayley at some point down the line, maybe like a month or two later, and Chelsea Green is going to be in a match with Bayley, and Bayley's going to get distracted by Tiffany Stratton, who's not actually cashing in. She's just getting in Bayley's head because she's upset about that loss at Saturday Night Main Event, and Chelsea Green will get that dang Women's United States Championship. I just think it's much better for Chelsea Green to get it like this instead of being the very first one, because I feel like a gimmicky character with this belt may not do what we need it to do. I feel like Bayley would do a lot better for the belt, at least to start off with. Now let's go from that prediction to this prediction of the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. Currently, we know that Dakota Kai has won, and we also know that Lyra Valkyria has won. Now, the next two triple threat matches are between Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, and Kaden Carter, and then the other one is Alba Fire, Kairi Sane, and Natalya. I believe that Raquel is likely going to win this one, and I may be too hopeful, but I got all my fingers and toes crossed that Alba Fire wins her match. Then that's going to have us with Dakota Kai, Raquel Rodriguez, Lyra Valkyria, and Alba Fire. So now for the match between Dakota Kai and Raquel, I actually have Dakota Kai winning this match. It might sound a bit weird, but come on, man. Raquel's been the worst bodyguard in the world. There's no way she's beating Dakota Kai, especially after the showing she just had against Liv Morgan. And then in the next match between Lyra Valkyria and Alba Fire, I do believe Lyra wins this match. I know. Ash, weren't you just rooting for Alba Fire? I was, but I don't think she's going to beat Lyra. We've seen already that Lyra always at least finishes second. Hey, would you look at that? She's looking like 2024 Liv Morgan. Does that mean she's going to end up with Dom? Oh, you dirty dog, you Dom. Well, she is going to finish second again because I had Dakota Kai winning this tournament and becoming the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion. This woman got it all, man. Mic work, character work. She's actually really dang good in the ring as well. If you ain't seen much of Dakota Kai, go watch her NXT work just to see how good she really is. Don't we know how good they really are, even if folks want to hate, is Liv Morgan, your Women's World Champion. And while I really hope that we're done with Liv versus Rhea, there's always the potential we're not. But if we can get done with it, it's because Io Sky dethrones Liv Morgan at Saturday Night Main Event, and that's my prediction. And the way I see things playing out is Raquel tries to interfere in the match, but here comes Kairi Sane. Now, obviously, the ref has to get distracted because, you know, these refs just apparently don't know how to do much other than get distracted. This is where Liv tries to go for a dirty shot on Io, but the one that nobody's ready for returns in Asuka to save Io Sky. And Io Sky is able to get the 1, 2, 3 on Liv Morgan, getting that Women's World Championship. We're going from one world champion to the next with the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther. Let me tell y'all right now, y'all. As I'm recording this, it is Monday, and I was watching some good old Monday Night Raw, and I saw one of the most beautiful sights ever, man, okay? I saw that man Finn Balor holding that World Heavyweight Championship, and it brought back some memories, man, of when he first held that Universal Championship. And let me tell you right now, at Saturday Night Main Event, we're going to have a whole lot of uncrownings, okay? Because I have Finn Balor getting the win over Gunther and Damian Priest. I know, man, it's 2024. Why would you want to put the World Heavyweight Championship on Finn Balor? But this guy is main event, in my opinion. He could still be a top guy in WWE, and I think that he deserves to get at least one dang shot with the World Heavyweight Championship, and I want to see it happen. If he doesn't beat him at Saturday Night Main Event, though, it's probably because Gunther pins up Damian Priest, and then here's another match for Finn Balor later down the line, where I do think Finn is going to dethrone Gunther. Let's go ahead and move on from our World Champions to our WWE Champions, started with the WWE Women's Champion of Nia Jax. And let me tell y'all right now who it's not gonna be, because I know a lot of y'all probably think it's old Tiffany, but no, she gonna fail that cash-in if she tries it on Nia. Heck, I think she should fail the cash-in anyways, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, the one who's gonna dethrone Nia Jax is, I don't know. It's really hard to say, to be honest, who's actually going to dethrone Nia. She looks so dang dominant. But you know what? Let's do that good old WWE long-term storytelling with this one right here, because I'm reaching for the moon and I'm reaching for Alexa Bliss. Let me tell y'all right now, if we get Alexa Bliss winning that and we do not get a feud with her and Roxanne Perez, I'm going to be hurt, man. The war of words between these two is going to feed generations. But speaking of feeding generations, let's go ahead and get on to the WWE Undisputed Champion, the American Nightmare, Mr. Cody Rhodes. And this one's real simple for me because I already predicted who the heck is going to dethrone Cody Rhodes. And that's going to be Mr. Fight Owens Fight at Saturday Night Main Event. That's right, we're going to have 3 champions all lose their belts at this dang show. And it might sound crazy for me to say that, but you know what? I'm swinging for the fences, okay? When I make predictions, I make the wildest predictions, and I'm going to stand on my predictions because I've been standing on this for the past 3 months now. If this is going to be the main event, of course this match is going to feed families. Of course this feud has been feeding families. But how about we get a wild ending that will feed families all over the dang world? We don't want world hunger anymore, man. We want everybody to have their tummies to be full, okay? So let's get their tummies real full with some KO being the WWE Undisputed Champion at Saturday night's main event. Don't worry, for all my Cody fans, Cody will get the belt back in a few months, and then him and Randy Orton will have that WrestleMania match that we thought should have happened at SummerSlam, but sadly we didn't get that because, you know, they want to do some other long-term storytelling. But hey, that's just who I believe dethrones all the WWE champions. Y'all go ahead and let me know down below, who do you think dethrones each and every one of these dang champions? And as always, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe for more, man.